What's up, fellow Rams? Welcome back from the break. My name's Fredrikson, and I'll be joining Brendon and Madeline here every so often to give you a rundown on some things to look out for the week. Here on Where to Watch. Let's get into it. Coming away with a win on the road, the Rams travel for yet another week to take on the Hawkeyes this Saturday at Kinnick Stadium. Both squads ended Saturday with large victories, with Iowa easily defeating Kent State with a final score of 30-7, and our very own leaving the Glass Bowl with a 3-possession lead, 22-6. Regardless of how CSU did last weekend, though, ESPN's matchup predictor holds the green and gold chances at victory at a strong 3.9%. Todd Centillo and the rest of the Rams will have to hold on to the momentum that the win against Toledo brings behind if they want to successfully enter the sea of yellow and black. In other news, the topic of football continues as the NFL begins to get into the groove of its new season. Being able to welcome fans back into stadiums across the country is certainly something I missed, and can imagine those on the field did too. The NFC and AFC West have both started the year on fire, proving themselves as the divisions you will certainly want to follow throughout the year to keep up with competitive races. In terms of who I'm wanting to keep an eye out for, Matthew Stafford and the Rams, along with Derek Carr and his Raiders, are two teams that have been so fun to watch in their first two games. Hey, I get it. Rooting for an AFC West team other than Denver's own is a crime here on the Monday Night Sports Show. But hear me out. The Raiders and their tough schedule might be enough to help slowly push Denver back to the top of the division. Plus, they still have to play twice later in the season. On the still entertaining but not so hot other side of the NFL, my very own Packers and the NFC North have not quite taken off yet. And with how these squads are playing, maybe they never will. In Week 1, the Midwest combined for a total of 140 points allowed, while responding with just barely half of what their defense gave up. With the Chicago Bears sneaking by with a win yesterday and the Lions-Packers game going on right now, the division's winless first week of the year is no more. Now, it wouldn't be the NFL without some major stars getting hurt Week 2, saw guys like TJ Watt and Jarvis Landry go down in pain. And QBs were not safe either. Tyrod Taylor, Andy Dalton, and Tua Tagovailoa all left their games for good on Sunday. Through all of the attrition, what's my biggest concern, you might ask? Tua being carted off the field due to a rib injury during what turned into a shutout victory to the Bills. Remember, number one missed time last year with a broken thumb and has an injury history dating back to his days at Bama. Hopefully, for Finns fans, their young signal caller can return to action sooner rather than later. Moving things along, as with every season, there is a huge mix of veteran and rookie QBs making their starts on the field. And through 2 games, it's clear who has seen the big leagues before and who maybe still has some jitters. Number 2 overall, Zach Wilson is not the only one struggling with his NFL transition. Patriots quarterback Mac Jones is the only rookie that has had a passing attempt without an interception, with the rest of them at least having one. And of course, Wilson is tied for the league lead in picks after an astounding and almost unbelievable 4 interceptions yesterday against the Pats. Fellow rookie Trevor Lawrence also has 5. With all of that INT talk past us, my NFL game to watch this week has to be when Tom Brady takes on the Rams in LA on Sunday afternoon. Can Stafford get his first big win as a Ram against arguably the best team in the league? We'll see. And wow, even though it is only Week 2, I am ready to give my Super Bowl prediction. Now, I know what you're thinking. Things change and injuries happen, and a repeat Bucks vs. Chiefs Super Bowl is something anyone could tell you. It's not a crazy guess by any means, but it is my take regardless. Each week I join Madeline and Brendon here. I'll be tracking the progress of this guess to see how close Brady and Mahomes are on making their trip to Super Bowl 56. And now sprinting into some more pro sports news, the MLB regular season is coming to a close in the next couple weeks. With 2 tight wildcard races and some surprise hot streaks sprinkled in there, this might be the most exciting postseason in a while. Unfortunately, for those who love baseball, though, fan favorites like Shohei Ohtani, possible MVP Bryce Harper, and talented rookie Fernando Tatis Jr. are not guaranteed a playoff spot. But with a couple series still left to play, you can't count any of them out. In pro baseball, peaking at the right time is key. Squads with a rough start have plenty of time to recover and make a name for themselves in August and September. Look at St. Louis, for example. The Cards started the season absolutely horrible, but are now starting to feel themselves, winning their last 8 in a row to stay in the running for a wild card spot. And speaking of teams on a tear, continue to follow the red-hot Rays and Dodgers, and keep up with the action this week to see if the Giants could be the first team to surpass 100 wins on the year. In terms of what to expect in the playoffs, it pains me to say this, but I see the Houston Astros making a run to the World Series. And when we see them there, hopefully they keep things somewhat clean this time. What could possibly make their scandal of a few years ago even more embarrassing is a rematch and loss to the Dodgers in this World Series. And just over a month from now, I believe it's these 2 teams that are going to be battling it out for another ring. And with that, that's all I have tonight. But don't leave just yet, Ram fans. After the break, join Madeline and Brendon for their hot takes of the week.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably going to turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right?
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Sorry, Ram fans, we do not have time for hot or not, but don't worry, next week we will be back. But that's all the sports action we have for you tonight. Tune in tomorrow for Tuesday Night News to see what Brandon has for this week's Bleacher Beat. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your Monday.